Right now, as you're watching this video, your voice, or rather, my voice, is traveling as pulses of light, shooting through a cable thinner than a strand of your hair, buried under the ocean floor, moving almost at the speed of light. We call it the Internet. But have you ever actually stopped to ask, what is it? Where does it live? Is it in the cloud? Is it a place? A thing? Spoiler, it's none of those, and the real answer is way weirder, and way more human, than you'd expect. Let's break it down. Let's kill the biggest myth first. There is no cloud. When someone says your photos are in the cloud, what they really mean is your photos are sitting on a physical hard drive, inside a massive warehouse called a data center, probably a few hundred miles away from you. That building has generators, cooling systems the size of swimming pools, and armed security guards for your vacation photos. So if the Internet isn't a mystical cloud floating above us, what is it, physically? At its core, the Internet is just this: millions of computers, all over the world, connected by cables. Some as short as the wire from your router to your laptop, some running thousands of miles under the Pacific Ocean, all agreeing to speak the exact same language. That's really it. Wires, warehouses, and an agreement. The Internet isn't a thing you connect to. It's a conversation billions of devices are having, all at once, in a language they all understand. And that language has a name. Imagine you want to mail a letter, but the post office has a strange rule. Your letter can't be longer than one sentence. If you want to send an entire novel, you have to rip it into thousands of individual sentences, put each one in its own envelope, number them so they can be reassembled in order, and mail them separately. That's basically what your computer does every single time you load a web page, send a text, or stream a video. Those tiny envelopes are called packets. A single photo you send in a text message might be broken into thousands of these packets before it ever leaves your phone. Here's the wild part. Those packets don't all travel the same route. One packet might zip through a cell tower in your city. Another might bounce through a satellite. A third might take a completely different path through a data center on the other side of the country. They race across the Internet independently and then get reassembled, perfectly, in the right order, in about 1/10 of a second. The rulebook that makes sure every computer on Earth, no matter who made it, what country it's in, or what software it runs, agrees on how to break apart, label, and reassemble these packets is called a protocol. You've probably seen its name 1,000 times without realizing it. The HTTP or HTTPS at the start of every web address literally stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, the Internet's shared rulebook for sending information. Okay, so your data gets chopped into packets and sent flying across the world. But sent where exactly? How does your phone know where to find, say, YouTube, out of the billions of devices connected to the Internet? Every single device connected to the Internet, every laptop, phone, smart fridge, and server has its own unique numerical address, called an IP address, something like 172.217.14.206. That specific string of numbers might actually be one of Google's real servers. But obviously, nobody types a string of numbers to check their email. Instead, you type a name, a website address. So there has to be a translator in between. That translator is called DNS, the Domain Name System, and it might be the Internet's most underrated hero. Think of DNS as the world's largest, fastest phone book. The instant you type in a web address, your device fires off a question into the Internet. Hey, what's the numerical address for this name? Within milliseconds, a DNS server answers back with the correct IP address, and only then does your device know where to actually send its packets. This entire lookup, asking, answering, and connecting, happens before the page even starts to load. It happens more times in 1 hour of browsing than most of us can imagine. Now here's the part that catches almost everyone off guard. The internet isn't primarily beamed through satellites in space. It's cables. Actual physical cables. Lying on the ocean floor. There are hundreds of these submarine cables crisscrossing the planet right now, some of them longer than 12,000 miles. Bundled inside each one are strands of fiber optic glass, thinner than a human hair, carrying data as pulses of laser light. When you video call a friend on another continent, your voice is very likely, at some point, traveling through a tube on the bottom of the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean. These cables carry the overwhelming majority of international internet traffic. Satellites do play a role, especially for remote regions. But the backbone of the global internet is, quite literally, glass wires at the bottom of the sea. And when a cable gets damaged, sometimes by a ship's anchor, or even, oddly, by shark bites, you can actually see internet speeds slow down for an entire region until repair ships sail out and fix it. So why does any of this matter to you? Because the next time your video call freezes or a page takes forever to load, you're not just experiencing bad Wi-Fi. You're witnessing a breathtakingly complex relay race, packets splitting apart, racing through cables under an ocean, getting directed by phone books the size of the planet, and reassembling themselves in the right order, all in the time it takes you to blink. We treat the internet like it's invisible, like it's magic. But it isn't magic. It's one of the largest cooperative engineering projects humans have ever built. No single company owns it. No single government controls all of it. It's thousands of networks, owned by different companies and countries, all agreeing, packet by packet, to work together. In a world where humans agree on almost nothing, we somehow all agreed on this. So next time someone asks you where the internet lives, you'll know. It doesn't live in a cloud. It lives in warehouses, in undersea cables, in the numbers behind every website name, and in a set of rules that billions of machines agreed to follow. If this scratched that curious itch, hit subscribe, because next week we're diving into another question you probably never thought to ask.